Hello students, my name is Sumit Sharma. I am working in Scent and Reuse Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram, as an assistant professor in Computer Science department. So this is our next lecture of web series of .NET. In the last lecture we had done introduction to C# and its characteristics, and also discuss about data types of C#, means value types and reference types. I hope you have understood these topics very well. Now today we will discuss about what are constants, variables, scope of variables, boxing and unboxings. So first topic of today's session is constant. So what is constant? First of all, constant is also known as literal, literal, literal in C#. So what is constant? In programming, a constant is a variable whose value remains fixed throughout the program. That means the value of a variable, if does not change during the execution of a program, that means it's a constant. In certain programs, sum of short of data remains unchangeable throughout the program. Hence, we use constant to store data so that it cannot be altered. That means constant is a quantity that does not change, or constants in C refer to fixed values that do not change during the examination of a program. And we also know that each constant has a type that is determined by its form and value. Come to next slide. In this slide, we are discussing about types of constants or type of literals in C#. So basically C# literals or C# constant are categorized into three major categories. First one is numeric constant or literals, second one is boolean literals, and third one is character literals. The two numeric and character literals also categorized into subcategories. In numeric literals, integer literals and real literals are a part of numeric literals, and single character literals and string literals are also a sub part of a character literals. So we are discussing about in detail. So if we are talking about first one is boolean constants or boolean literals, so it represent a true or false type value. That means it always have two options only, either true or false. So it represent a true or false data value. Okay, the values true and false are the only two possible boolean constant values, either true or false. Numeric values such as 0 and 1 cannot be treated as false and true respectively. So boolean type does not accept any numeric value as its value. It only accepts true or false, either true or either false. There are only two possible boolean constants values. Okay, next one is numeric constant. What is numeric constant? Numeric constant categorized into two category, integer literals and real literals. So what is this? We are discussing about it in detail. So first part is integral constant. What is integral constant? It refers to a sequence of digits without decimal point. If we are talking without decimal point, it is integral constant. If we are talking about with decimal point, then it is real literals. So here we are discussing about integral constant, that means sequence of digits without decimal point. Comma and blank space cannot be included within integral constant, and it is also categorized into two parts, such as decimal integral constant and hexadecimal integral constant. So decimal integral constant, digits 0 to 9 are coming, and in hexadecimal constant, integral constant, 0 to 15 digits are coming. Okay, the second one is real constant. We already discussed that if a sequence of digits with using decimal point, that's called a real constant. In another word, a real constant is a combination of a whole number followed by a decimal point and the fraction part. So a real constant is a number that contains either a decimal point or an exponent or both. It is also called as floating point constant. Okay. The real or floating point constant can be written in two forms: fractional or normal form, or exponential or scientific form. The third one is character constant. So what is a character constant? A character constant includes all characters, alphabets in it. So a character written within a single quote is a character constant. The character may be letter, number, or special character. So which is included in single quote is called a character constant, and it includes letter, numbers, and special characters. Next one is string constant. It is a part of character literal. So character constant. C sharp supports two types of string constant, such as regular string constant and verbatim string constant. What is this? Regular string constant is a sequence of 0 or more characters enclosed within a double quote. As compared to if we are talking about a single character constant, it is enclosed in a single quote, and if we are talking about a string constant, it enclosed in a double quote. Okay, single character constant is basically an alphabet, letter, or a number, but string constant is a collection of alphabets and enclosed in a double quote. So regular string constant is a sequence of 0 or more characters enclosed within double quotes, such as India. So it is a collection of alphabets INDIA, and it enclosed in a double inverted comma or double quotes. Okay, the quotes are not the part of string. If we are count the length of a string, then double quote are not included in the length of a string. One more important constant which is also work as a keyword, null constant. The null keyword is a constant used to indicate that a variable does not hold a known value. Okay, it is used only with the reference type and not within a value type. So next topic is variable. Before this topic, we are talking about constant. Constant means that does not change its value. And if right now we are talking about variable, variable means that change their value according to the situation, according to the execution of a program. It does not fixed. So what is a variable? Variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area that our programs can manipulate or can modified. So variable is simply a name given to memory location which act as placeholder or container for storing data. Okay. In given slide, our example is here. A is a variable in which 100 value is stored, and the address of this variable or storing area is 1566. It may help to think of variable as a container for a value. In other words, we can say that variable name is a name given to memory cells, location of a computer where data is stored. Each variable in C or a C sharp has a specific type which determines the size and layout of the variable's memory. The range of values that can be stored within that memory and the set of operations that can be applied to the variable. It may change during program execution. And if we are talking about constant, it does not change during program execution. So basically there are major big difference between them, that constant cannot change during program execution and variable may change during program execution. A variable definitions also tells the compiler where and how much storage to create for the variable. It also specifies a data type and contains a list of one or more variables. So these are the information about the variable. Come to the next slide, in which we are discussing about rules for variable names. How to create variable. So these are the rules for variable name. To create a variable name, all variables names must start with a letter or an underscore character. If we have any word which is not started by any letter or underscore, so it is not created, it is not used as a variable. So all variable names must start with a letter or an underscore character, but cannot be followed by any number of letters, digits or underscore characters. Then keywords are not allowed to use a variable name. Keywords are not allowed to use as a variable name. So what are keywords? Keywords are the reserved words which is predefined in library of C#. Okay, like struct. Struct is a keyword which is used for structured data type. So we are not using struct as a variable because it is already preserved or stored in C library or C# library as a keyword. So variable names is unique in the sense we are not using keywords as a variable name. Then special symbols and voice space is not allowed. And we also know that C# or C or C++ is a case sensitive. That means upper and lower case are significant. Okay. Now in next slide we are discussing about scope of variables. What is scope of variables? So basically it specifies the area where one can use that variable in the program. Every variable have a limit that in certain area we are able to use it, and beyond the area the variable is not working. So scope of variable specify the area where one can use that variable in the program. This means that the scope determines the region within the program where the variable can be accessible and referenced. The region of source code over which the definition of a variable is visible is called the scope of variable. And if we are talking about lifetime of a variable, the lifetime of a variable and its accessibility are referred to as scope. Okay. Now in this slide we are discussing about types of variables in C#. So basically we have five types of variables is used in C#. So now start discussing about it. The first one is local variable. What is local variable? Everyone know about the word local. Local means a certain range. So local variables exist within the scope of a given method in a class, and above the about this topic we already discussed about scope of variable. So the scope of local variable is within the method where it has been declared. Local variables cannot be defined as public or private because it is used where it is declared. They are not accessible outside the method in which they are defined. That's why it's called local variables. The second one is static variables. So the static variables are the variables which retain their value throughout the program like a constant. So there is only one copy of a static variable for all instances of a class because the value retained same throughout the program. So these variables are accessible from anywhere in the class in which they are defined. The static variable are declared with the static keyword. Okay. Before declaring static variables, we will use keyword static to declare static variable. The third one is instance variable. What is the meaning of instance? So basically a field declared without the static modifier is called an instance variable. Okay. So instance variables are accessed by using the object of the class, and the scope of these variables begins at the place of their declaration and ends when the main method of terminates. So basically instant variables are specific to every object of the class. Static variables is very similar to constant variables. As we discuss about static variables, so those variables which retain their value throughout the program, those variables which does not change its value during the execution of a program, like a pi value. When we calculate the pi, 2 pi r square s, so pi have a constant value 3.14. so it is a constant variable. We can define this, we can assign this 3.14 value to a variable with using constant keyword. So by the help of constant variable, we are not defined in many places. Above the main program, we declared about constant variable, and throughout the program we can use the same value. Okay. So these are the basic introduction about the variables in C#. Come to the next point in which we are discussing about boxing. It is very most important question in C#, boxing and unboxing. So what is the meaning of boxing? What is the meaning of unboxing? So boxing basically is a implicit conversion. Implicit means internal conversion. So conversion of a value type to an object type is known as boxing. If we have a data type means value type, and if we want to convert into object type, so we are using boxing. So conversion of a value type to an object type is called as boxing. So boxing a value means allocating an object instance, and the value of the value type is copied into that object instance is called boxing. We already discussed that boxing is implicit conversion. Implicit conversion means we give any input and we saw the output only. We do not understand about the internal conversion method. So boxing is useful in situations when a value type is converted into a base object type or to an interface. The CLR, common language runtime, then converts the value type to reference type, and the CLR, common language runtime, allocates memory on heap and then copies the value type instance to it. So basically, if we have a value type data and if we want to convert into object type, then we are using boxing technique or a boxing process. Okay, the next slide in which we are discussing about unboxing. So simply it is just opposite about the boxing. So what is unboxing? Conversion of object type to value type is known as boxing, and if we are talking about boxing, conversion of value type to object. So here we are discussing about unboxing. So the conversion of object type to value type is known as unboxing. Unboxing performs, as we discussed that, or unboxing performs the opposite operation of boxing. Okay, so unboxing is done by an explicit conversion and boxing is done by an implicit conversion. So unboxing is done by an explicit conversion from the type object to any value type. One can only unbox a variable that has already been boxed. And it is very important to remember that unboxing requires an object type that is boxed from value type to object type. So it is very most important question expected to university exam, boxing and unboxing. What is the basic difference between boxing and unboxing? Explain boxing and unboxing. Okay, so now I am going to provide you some important questions based on today's topic so that you will get an idea that which type of questions come in university exam. Okay, so the first question is, what is constants or literals? Both have the same meaning. So what is constants or literals? Also explain its types. The next question is, what is variable? Also explain types of variables. And the last one is, what is boxing and unboxing? Explain. The same question is also in a different way will come in exam. Let's differentiate between boxing and unboxing simply. So this is the end of the today's session and also end of unit 2. We had completed unit 1 and today we also complete unit 2. So thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day. Hope you'll watch my next video in which I will discuss about third unit topics. So thank you so much. Stay connected with us. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.